My name is John Bloch, and I'm executive producer at 4A Games. It's our own engine. The 4A engine is proprietary. We've been building it, from the beginning, since the studio was started in 2005, and we are constantly upgrading it. We built it from the ground up to be multi-platform and really take full advantage of every platform that it's on, and really push technology as far as we can possibly push it, utilizing whatever hardware and technology is available to us at the time. So there's always new stuff going in, always new techniques and new features and things like that. One of the bigger things that we had to do this time was to implement a number of things in order to support these new open environments, these new larger levels. In Metro Last Light, and also Metro 2033, the largest level that we had before was like 200 square meters, and the level we showed off at E3 this year was about 2 square kilometers. So like the size difference is astronomical in comparison to what we were doing before. We were doing linear crafted levels where basically a lot of the technology we were using was applied in a different way, and now we have to apply it in a whole new direction. I don't know if you saw the NVIDIA press conference last night. We just announced that we're also supporting RTX technology.
RTX?
Yes, it's their real-time ray trace global illumination is what we're doing, and it's a whole new technology that supports their new line of video cards. It's another example of how we're always trying to stay on the cutting edge to push new technologies and to make sure that the game stands out, looking the best that it can look, and really showcasing the strengths of modern technology. Well, we wanted to do something a little bit new, for ourselves and also for fans. Fans have been asking for something like this for a long time. There's some history in that in the studio. Some of the core members of the team worked at GSC Game World in the past and worked on Stalker, which was an open world game. So there's a bit of that history. So we wanted to kind of build off of that history, do something a little bit new. We didn't want to lose the feel of Metro, so we still wanted it to be a Metro game. So we still have linear levels in the game. We still have a linear story arc that carries you through the experience. But we wanted to go to new environments, take you to new places, see new things, for the player experience, but also for doing something new as a studio as well. Now you've left so the previous two games took place exclusively within the Moscow city area and mostly within the metro system underground. In this game, you have escaped Moscow and you go on this epic journey across Russia on a train, and so you're taking all these new environments, all these new locations. The journey takes place over the course of a year, and you see all 4 seasons over that journey. The level you were playing today takes place in autumn, somewhere far along the journey, so yes, the environment that you saw today is very different, but we still try to incorporate a lot of those elements that make Metro, that claustrophobia, those underground dark areas, the dangerous, dark, anxiety building, tension building types of gameplay. That's all still there, despite being in a different location. And there are while there are a lot of new environments, there will be some familiar ones to players as well. Well, there's always been an element of player choice in how Metro is experienced. We want you to, when you sit down to play, you immerse yourself in this world and not just feel like you're sitting down to play a game. We want you to really experience it as if you're there, that you step into the shoes of Artyom and you determine what type of person he is in the way that you play. And so there's a lot of different elements, within gameplay that support that. You could have snuck past those guys. You could have, as you said, you attacked them outright. Different things might happen depending on how you approach the situation, and different people that you come across. Not everyone, all along this journey is just going to be flat out evil. We had to change in order to support this new idea of sandbox gameplay. Now the player needs to scavenge materials. There's like metal, scrap, and chemicals, and utilize them in order to craft everything that the player needs. Now you don't just buy med kits when you come across a store. You can craft them at any time. Med kits, gas mask filters, throwing knives, things like that, and you do that using your backpack, and that allows you to do certain things to like modify your weapons, modify your loadout, upgrade your weapons if you find new parts. So you can completely change the way that you're going to approach a situation on the fly using your backpack. There's more things that you can do if you find a workbench. Modify your suit, craft ammunition for the more traditional ammunition types for weapons that fire them. And clean your weapons as well. That's a new element. You have to maintain your weapons, otherwise they break down a lot more. So there's all these systems that have been enhanced and built upon in order to support the idea of player freedom and player choice in these open environments. But these mechanics permeate through the entire game. So even in the linear levels, you'll find these mechanics as well, to make sure that this feels like a Metro game. So even in these big open environments, there's still going to be that feeling of dread, nervousness, not knowing what's around, the next corner. It's not only going to be that feeling from a dark, claustrophobic tunnel. We're still pushing really hard to make sure that even when you're out in an open forest, that you still kind of tread lightly, because you don't really know even what's behind that tree. There is a linear story arc that carries you through, and there's that main story thread that is pretty obvious as part of the main goal. Is like the journey and the main goals of the player that are carried throughout. But in these environments, the player will be able to explore and find other side content. We don't really do those traditional kind of side quests where there's a guy standing over there and he wants 10 of those dead things. We didn't really want to approach the more sandbox style of gameplay from that perspective and do that kind of traditional style of side content. We wanted to do something that felt more natural, that was more like found content. So as the player explores, they're rewarded with any number of different things, whether it be something to find, or an activity, or a puzzle, or like something to do that feels more like you actually came across it realistically. Metro Exodus comes out February 22nd, 2019.